And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Alright, you got 5 dice, you're rolling them, and trying to get combinations in them that kind of seem similar to poker hands. What is that? Everyone knows that's Yahtzee, or at least most people I meet. When I talk about games, and they say, oh, I know about Yahtzee. There's electronic Yahtzee, there's flash Yahtzee you can play on the internet. You can sit around with dice, you don't even need the game itself and play Yahtzee. I kind of find Yahtzee a little boring. It's not so bad. Triple Yahtzee is a little better than Yahtzee, I suppose, but it just kind of, there's no interaction. You're just trying to get the best combo, and if someone happens to roll 2 Yahtzees in a row, well, yay for them, they just won the game. So, I didn't think much when I first saw Yahtzee Free For All, other than, ooh, what a cool box. Even though it's a pain to store on the shelf, and you should have seen the packaging it originally came in, but there was like a little thing that, so you can balance it like this. But it does look cool. I mean, look at that. It's a pretty big die. You know, I don't mind the box so much, but, you know, what attracted me to the game was it's designed by Richard Borg. Who, you may ask, is Richard Borg? He has designed Memoir 44, Battle Lore, Commands and Colors Ancients, Hera and Zeus, Liar's Dice, which, if you're new to gaming, is that game they played in Pirates of the Caribbean 2. But I'm telling you, this is a Yahtzee game designed by the man who made one of the greatest war games ever. Well, Yahtzee Free For All. What's it like? Well, first of all, I know the packaging is unique and all, but it's kind of a pain. Here, look how this works. You have to then unfold this. The rules then are folded up and around the game. Look at the rules come out. It's a die, and then the rules pop out like this. Okay, kind of a pain there to work with. And then the game comes with a pile of cards and a pile of chips and a pile of dice. All this is in this box here. Now, this is, while this box is neat, the only way to get these dice out is to knock them all out, because you're squishing them all in there. Now, this is the board, and this is kind of a pain to work with. You actually have to work and bend these back a little bit to get these down, but once it gets down, it actually works pretty well. Alright, so the board's kind of flat here. Still up a little bit, but you'll spend some time getting this board down. Each player has their own set of dice. Now, the game comes with some chips, and it's kind of hard to tell here. You see there's little wavy marks on the chip. That's because when you stack them, they fit right into each other in grooves like that. These are the best chips I've ever seen for a game. I love how they stack. They're easy to handle. I like the chips. Great component. The dice are really generic white dice. They're not as cool as my dice, but useful enough for this game, especially since there's enough dice for all the players. Now, on a player's turn, of this deck of cards, 3 of them are placed in the middle of the table here on the board. So, for example, here's one. 4 of a kind. It's worth 4 points. 1s, that's worth 3 points, and 2s, that's worth 2 points. Now, on my turn, I roll the dice. So I roll, and I get 2 2s, 2 5s, and a 6. Now, I could go for 4 of a kind, but I say, well, I got 2 2s. I might as well go for the 2s. So I keep 2 of the dice, and I can re-roll the other 3. I re-roll the other 3. I got another 2, so I'll keep that 2. Now I have 3 2s, and I'll roll again. Now, you can roll 3 times. So this is my final roll. No matter what I roll here, I'm going to have to keep it. I roll, and I get a 4 and a 5. So I got 3 2s, a 4, and a 5. And I stick those, if you can see, into this section of the board that's mine. And then this 2 card, I'm going to take it and put it in front of me. I just got the 2s. A new card is placed at the board. This is chance. Anything can be placed there, and the next player goes. Now, if someone else manages to roll a better combo than me, let's say they roll 4 2s, or 3 2s, a 5 and a 6, which is better than my 4 and 5, they can steal my card from me, rather than taking one of the 3 here. However, if everyone else goes and it comes back to my turn, before I go, if there's a card here, I take it and keep it, and that card is safe now. No one can steal it. But for one round, there's a chance that someone else can steal it. If you steal a card from someone, or if you basically roll horribly and don't get any cards, then each card that's in front of on the table right now has a chip added to it. When you win those cards, let's say this one, no one keeps getting chance for some reason. When someone finally wins chance, they get all the chips that are there, and these are points that you immediately get, and no one can ever steal these. So sometimes you're debating, do I steal a card from another player, or do I take that one there with all those chips on it? You know, because chips are guaranteed points, while this 4 of a kind, while it's worth 4 points, who's to say it will still be here when it comes back around? Some cards are harder to steal than others. The large straight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If someone rolls a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no one's going to steal that from them. Other cards are pretty easy. If I go for this 1 card, which is worth 3 points, and I roll a stinking 1, 1, and I put that there with a bunch of other numbers, all someone else has to do is roll 2 1s and they got me beat. Or roll even a better combo than me. And so there's constantly that fear that people are going to steal from you, and that means the game works best, I think, with 6 players because everyone's trying to steal from one another. The game ends when either all the chips are gone or the deck of cards runs out. So there is only so many turns. Because if you don't get a combo on your turn, or if you steal a card from someone else, chips are thrown on the board. If you take a card from the board, then a card comes off the pile. So either chips or cards are coming into play every turn. And so the game has so many turns. And it's not really clear from the rules what you do with the card that's left in front of you at the end of the game. Do you get to keep that card, or is that card gone? The rules were a little confusing on that. And like I said, this is kind of a pain to read this whole rule thing. I'm looking around, how to win, other ways to play, the object and setup, and I mean it's neat, but sometimes cool factor does not work for functionality, and it's going to take me like 5 minutes to put all this back together, and that's okay. I can live with that. But that aside, rules annoyances and a bit of the pain of the components aside, I like this. It's my favorite version of Yahtzee. It's fast. You have that. You can still roll a Yahtzee. There's a few cards that are set aside that say Yahtzee and they're worth 10 points, and players can get those. But for the most part, the act of trying to steal combos from other players, or maybe going for a combo in the middle, trying to decide, it's the fun of Yahtzee, but it doesn't take as long, and it doesn't seem, and it's much more interactive. And so, the best version of Yahtzee, and that's not a negative thing. I actually like this game, and I bring it to many game events because it's something we can play in 20, 25 minutes. A very fast game, even with 6 players. So I really enjoy this version, and you can probably go out and find it in Toys R Us right now. So go get it. A wonderful version of Yahtzee by one of the best designers in the business.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.